Hi, Group 3. So we're starting a new chapter on factorization. So you have to understand that factorization is the opposite of expansion. So rainbow method is expansion. Oh, I did write it over there. So this is one of the most difficult chapter for high school students. And it's also one of the most important ones. Okay, so you have to pay attention really well in class. So when we are doing factorization, we need to identify something in common. So for example, 18 and 9 are in common because I can always divide both numbers with 9. Okay, so the way we're gonna do this is we're gonna take out 9, usually the smallest number, and actually it's always the smallest number. Sometimes it doesn't have to be 9, sometimes like 3, right? But in this case, 9 is the largest one we can think of that both can be divided. So finally, you would have 18 divided by 9, that is 2, and the x is still there, plus 9 divided by 9 is 1, so we have 1y, or just simply just y. You can always double check by doing rainbow method again and see if you can get the original equation. Next question. So over here, we try to identify something in common between the two terms. Both of them have a y, and the others are not in common. So we're gonna take out y, factorize y. We will have 7 left. Y divided by y is 1, right? So it's 7 times 1, which is 7, minus x. Then we continue. Now, if the first one is a negative, it doesn't mean you have to factorize a negative, okay? You have to make sure that both are negative before you factorize a negative. So one of them is only negative. I'm not going to factorize negative. One I'm going to factorize is 6, 8. These two are even numbers, so I know I can divide it with 2 and the x over there. So I'm going to have, I'm going to factorize 2 because both can be divided by 2. And then the x. So we have negative here. Negative 6 divided by 2 is 3. X is gone, so we just have negative 3 left. Plus 8 divided by 2 is 4. X is gone, we only have y left, right? So you have to be careful. Again, if you want to double check, you can do a rainbow method. I can simply show you a rainbow method here. Negative 6 times 2 will be negative 6 with an x. 2 times 4 is 8. And then we have an x and y. So it's back to the original equation. And that's how I know that I'm doing it correctly. So for this question here, both of them has a negative. So I'm going to factorize a negative. Both of them are even numbers. So most likely I can divide it with 2. But I can take off another number which is larger than 2. And that's going to be 4. And then we have b. Both of them has b, right? So quite a lot to factorize here. I factorize a negative. I choose to factorize 4. Now, if you factorize 2, then it's not complete. The factorization is not complete. You will end up with like 10 and 6. And that is still even numbers. So we always try to think about a number we can divide it for both of them, and the largest one we can think of. So I'm going to pick 4 directly. And then we're factorizing a single b, right? Single b. So when you factorize a negative, that basically turns the sign of the term to positive. You switch it. Then 20 divided by 4 is 5. There's an a there that we did not factorize. And then we take away the b, right? So there's no more b. Moving on, there is a minus. We factorize a minus, so it becomes a plus now. The 12 will be divided by 4, and you get 3. So it's 3 now. And then we take away 1b out of this, because this one is basically b times b. If you take 1 away, there is still 1 left. So that's why we still have to write a single b. We only take 1 away from like $2. You have $1 left. And again, this is the factorization of this question. If you do rainbow method again, you should be able to get the question. Okay, let's see if we can get more examples. Oh, this one's good. So in this question, I'm not gonna factorize a negative because one is positive, one is negative. I will factorize 12 and 30. I'll factorize a number out. I'll think of a number later. Both of them has a P and both of them has a Q. Okay, so that's how I'm gonna plan it. For 12 and 30, the largest number I can think of is not 12. It's actually 6. And then for the P, both of them has a power 2. So the largest number that I can take away from them is P squared. Both of them are the same anyways. And then for Q and Q3, since this one is the smallest one, I can only take away a Q from them. So that's bracket. Minus is still there. 12 divided by 6 is 2. P squared is factorized. Q is factorized. So we have negative 2 only. Plus 30 divided by 6 will be 5. P squared is taken off. And then we're taking 1 Q out of Q power 3. So what's left, it's going to be 3 minus 1. So that's going to be power 2 now. So again, over here is basically Q times Q times Q. If you take 1 away, there's 2 left, and that's Q squared. So that is the factorized form of this one. Again, if you're unsure, you can always factorize it. Expand it, rainbow method again, to get an answer. So I don't think I'm gonna, okay, maybe I'll probably go here, and let's just do the hardest one over here. Okay, maybe this one. So over here, this one is not a negative, so I'm not gonna factorize a negative. They're all multiples of 4, so I'm gonna factorize 4. All of them has an A, but all of them doesn't have an X, Y, and Z, right? So you have to make sure that all 3 terms have something you want to take out from. So we have negative 4 divided by, I'm factorizing 4, right? So we have to write 4 outside. And then we're factorizing A as well. So I'm going to factorize 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. A is taken off. And then we have X left. Plus 16 divided by 4 is 4. A is taken out, Y is left. Minus 28 divided by 4 is 7. 7. A is taken out, and then Z is left. So that should be the final answer. Again, you can double check if you are unsure, and that's how we do it. All right. For this one, just to let you know, for the A here, you gotta factorize A only, the smallest power, because you cannot get 2 A's out of this one. This one only has 1 single A, so I would just factorize A, and then there's an A left here, and then an A left there. Okay, that's it for this video. Good luck for your homework. Again, it's confusing at first, I know. But that's life. You gotta go through this. Bye.